Welcome to Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development. As the current time of approximately noon on Eastern Time on Christmas Day, hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. And for those that don't celebrate Christmas, have a great holiday. And also, we are technically less than a week away from Happy New Year's. So hope you guys had a great 2022, but also an even greater 2023. Respect to Ethereum currently $1,211, about just close to 1% so far. On this Christmas morning, on the East Coast, I know for selective people in different part of the world, Christmas has already passed. But in the U.S., we have something that's called the Christmas Observation Day, which is on the 26th. So technically, we have had, this long weekend. That Monday will be, part of it as well. And just take a look at the media front. I think this is going to be more of a shorter video today, knowing the fact that with respect to, um, you know, it's a Christmas and we want to just catch up on a high level. No need to really go into too much of a due diligence and work today. It's important to have the right work-life balance. But take a look at that on a high level. It seems like with respect to the news front, beside the holiday traveling news, seems like airlines are canceling 10,000 plus flights during a severe winter storm and scramble to rebook holiday travelers. So good luck to the ones that are in transition to see their family and their loved ones for Christmas. Um, the airlines are trying their best, but like the winter that we have been experiencing, not just particularly in New York, which is where I live, but like selective regions in the U.S. as well, has been quite volatile, right? One day you wake up like it's like normal like temperature. It's still cold, obviously in the winter time frame, but next thing you see like you see like a drop of 30 degrees in the span of like couple hours, from like 3 p.m. on the Eastern time all the way to 6 p.m. on the Eastern time in New York City. It dropped by 30 degrees. Like it was depicted on the news. It was depicted on the weather report, saying that it's the fastest drop of temperature in our lifetime. I don't know what's going on. Seems like something is happening with the whole climate. I think climate change is definitely something that is quite severe and it's becoming more of a percolations as years and days goes on. So anyway, that's not really the topic of discussion. We are in the festive environment today. But with respect to the technical front on the overall market, I would say we have not really moved. We opened at 1220 today, and we have literally moved by $10. So the technical is relatively similar in comparison to what we talked about in previous video yesterday. So we could just revisit this quickly. We are in between levels of 1250 versus 1150, but the real level of support is technically at 1050. So the likelihood of actually breaking down to 1050 is an impossibility. I would say I give this like more of a 40% certainty in the near term. But with respect to like, is that gonna be happening in the next 7 days? I would say, not ideal. I would say most likely in Q1, as tax season start to happen, as we see more volatility coming from the CPI, the FOMC meeting. So that's more likely. On the weekly, you could see that it's a lot more prominent, and that's why I'm saying like ideally in Q1. That would have been quite extended for this for the MACD front on top, right? If you look into it, like if I'm just like stretching out, you could see that with respect to the line, we have been stretching since August of 2022 all the way until today. And on the monthly front, it is showing the opposition. It is a lot more bullish with this large separation. We are landing at the 43 out of 70. So ideally, as we get over the funk in the daily and weekly front, which makes sense, ideally in Q1 and Q2, I would say much more prominent, much more likely to be happening around late Q1, shifting onto early Q2 will be the great transitional time period. And that's also when the time when we get the results from technically two FOMC meeting, understanding the efficacies from the rate hikes that we've been having for basically, I think if you count the just how many, like count the tabs of how many rate hikes we've done so far, I would say 6 to 7 by then, and I think by then we will start to see some reversal, right? Again, with respect to rate hikes, 75, 75, 75, 75, so that's 4. Our recent one was 50, so as we get the 6th and the 7th one, are we going to go with 50 or going to go with 25, or are we going to continue to go with 50 until we hit a certain level, or are we going to increase? So that's something we have to kind of understand from the corporate outlook, and also seeing the Fed on how they triangulate with the job numbers, combining with the tax season, and obviously the FTX debacle, which is more of a secondary factor on the whole over macro market, right? And then on the Bitcoin side of the equation, I would say 16,500, 15,500 is really the technical bottom based on what we see so far. Daily, it is quite fused together, so it's not really moving up or down. It's quite sticky collectively. On the monthly front, you could see that we are looking to land up and kind of glide up eventually with the 40 out of 70 right now. So what it means is like similar to Ethereum, right? We have to see some normalization on daily and weekly front. So seeing some cross down before we go up is more likely. Okay. And just take a look at I know today the market is closed, and tomorrow the equity market is also closed. So let's take a look at that. SPY is, it is looking like we have some more room to go down to on a monthly, on a daily, on a weekly. You could see that we also need to kind of cross down. So, what we need to do is basically form this reverse head and shoulder. We have the first shoulder with the head with another shoulder. So what we need to do is kind of form that secondary shoulder, ideally coming down a little bit more, just to match with the previous shoulder level, ideally it's like 375 to 365. Obviously, it's not perfect science, but ideally having that pattern to be formed will triangulate into a very bullish pattern, which matches with the weekly and the monthly trajectory going forward. That ideally, again, Q1 in late or Q2, early Q2 specifically, we should ideally see some shift onto a more bullish momentum, knowing the fact that we've been in a bear market for basically about 2.5 years now. Okay. Before I wrap up, I just want to say, I wish you guys, you and your family have a really good time together today and the rest of the week. We are on this festive spirit. So I definitely appreciate you for hopping on a call with me despite today's holiday, and you guys should be spending more time with your loved ones. But it's I consider you guys like my family, and this year has been just really rough on myself. I've been traveling a lot, but with respect to like my business front and I guess my physical and behavioral health front, they all kind of trending in different directions, as you guys have been observing and watching me. But I would say collectively, this is part of the game of entrepreneurship, and for those that are supporting me financially on Patreon, I really appreciate you guys for believing in the craft that we're working on together, and also being diligent on supporting me on a day-to-day basis. And my promise to you guys weeks ago, I forget when I said this, but like one day, if I when I make it really, really big, I would really love to invite all of you guys to go on a cruise, or go to an island that I will rent out, and I will fly you guys out onto just having a celebration of life. And my goal eventually, someday, is to empower as many underdogs as possible, right? Just because of our upbringing, just because of our social and demographic economical class, your history doesn't define what your life legacy will be leading upon. So what I want to do is to empower you guys financially, socially, and you can tell that I've been doing this for, I would say, YouTube for a year and a half now. And the growth that I've been having so far, despite the whole macro downturn, which is hindering everybody, and it's kind of, it's putting a toll and some pressure on myself. But if it wasn't for you guys to be staying in touch with me, keeping me in check, holding me accountable, I would have not been able to be here today. So I appreciate you very much, and I hope that one day we can all be on this island to be celebrating. All expense will be charged to me, and I want to do that. So anyways, have a great Christmas. Have a great Hanukkah. I think it's ending tomorrow, but Kwanzaa begins tomorrow. And for those that don't celebrate Christmas at all, have a great festive spirits anyways. And I will most likely be posting tomorrow anyways. So it's, I feel like I'm saying like farewell right now, but it sounds very much like it because we are ending the year again. I remember like just literally like yesterday. It feels like yesterday I was posting a holiday or a Merry Christmas video not too long ago, but time is really flying. So that means this year has been just flying before our eyes. And next thing you know, I'm gonna be 32, which is quite scary. Time is short, so spend the time with your loved ones. And enough of my just babbling and repeating myself. But anyways, have a good one. I care about you. I love you guys, and take care.